Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of Tommy Maroon Sports Show, episode number 199. My goodness, I can't believe we're almost at 200. So hard to believe, ladies and gentlemen. But you know what's not hard to believe is that we got a lot of fun stuff to talk about as always. Of course, we'll be talking about the Cleveland Guardians first and foremost, because that's what's been going on out there. Cleveland Guardians, let's look at the first half stats. Jose Ramirez leads the Guardians with 14 home runs, 289 average, and an 870 OPS. And of course, excuse me for 1 second, my microphone. There we go. Josh Naylor, a 305 average, 11 home runs, 64 RBIs. Josh Bell, 42 RBIs, 17 doubles, and 9 home runs. Those are the Naylor brothers. Josh on the left, Bo on the right. And there's also Miles Naylor, who's drafted by Oakland. Disappointing, I know. Andres Gimenez, 7 home runs, 4 three-baggers, and 15 stolen bases. Shane Bieber, 5-6 record, 95 strikeouts, and a 1.25 whip. Tanner Bybee has a 5-2 record, 3.34 ERA, and 70 innings pitched. And Logan Allen, 63 strikeouts, a 1.44 whip, and 24 walks. And Manuel Clase has had a very iffy season, I guess. 3.38 ERA, 25 saves. He's blown 7 saves this season, and a 2.28 average. Despite that, Clase is indeed in the All-Star game, as is Jose Ramirez. But Josh Naylor is not, despite being in the top 5 in RBIs in the American League. What? I can't believe it. First half recap. Guardians currently sit at a marginal 45-45 record. That may sound disappointing because it's true. But you know what's not disappointing? They're leading the American League Central by half a game over the Minnesota Twins. Oh ye gods, what a horrible division, my friends. My goodness, Guardians have won 6 out of their last 10, which isn't too shabby, but a 45-45 record is kind of shabby. A run differential of -7. The team is very mediocre in virtually every stat imaginable. 29-28 against right-handed pitchers and 16-17 against lefties. They would sit in dead last in the American League East, because the team in last in the American League East are the Boston Red Sox, 48-43, and of course the Guardians are 45-45. That just takes depressing stuff to a whole nother level. And 7-8 against the American League East, 13-13 against the Central, and 13-6 against the West. And then they are 12-18 against the National League, and 8-6 in extra inning games, 17-19 in one-run contest. Yeah, very mediocre, but of course still leading the division rather than being in any other division, thank the Lord. We'll see if the Guardians can pick it up in the second half like they always do, but right now things don't look the best. Hitting's kind of sluggish, pitching's kind of sluggish, everything's kind of sluggish. The Guardians find scrappy ways to win, don't they? We'll see if they can continue it in the near future. Anyway, series recaps. There was one series that happened in between this week's episode and last week's episode, really last week's episode and this week's episode. Guardians against the Royals, almost a clean sweep, but unfortunately some things were not meant to be. Guardians win it 3-1. 5 Guardians had 1 RBI each in game 1, which is pretty good in my opinion. Andres Gimenez, that's right, Andres Gimenez, 3 runs scored in game 1. And Aaron Savali had 7 shutout innings, a 2-hit ball in game 2. That is really good. Josh Bell, 2-run home run in game 2. And in game 3, this game right here, Bo Naylor, Josh Naylor, and Josh Bell. 2 RBIs each in game 3. And then there was an incredible rally later on in the game. The Royals had the tying run at first and the runner at second as well. There was a gapper into right center field. It became trouble. a run scored, and then the relay from, I believe, Miles Straw down to Andres. Andres gunned it home, and what do you know? The out was recorded, and the Guardians poured it on in the 8th inning and won the contest. And then Shane Bieber went 6.1 innings in Game 4. It was not really his best outing. It's not really been the best of seasons for Shane Bieber, really. Kind of disappointing in my opinion, but you know what? We'll see if it will be any better for the Cleveland Guardians in the future. Anyways, looking at everything out there, looking at the MLB attendance, the Cleveland Guardians haven't been doing that shabby this season. If I can pull it up. Guardians, where are they? They are averaging 21,412 fans per game. Almost reached 1 million by now. In fact, attendance is up just about everywhere in baseball, which is always a good sight to see. Baseball is a great sport, as we all know by now. Every team is averaging over 10,000 fans a game, including the lowly Oakland Athletics, for their home games. That is kind of hard to believe, in my opinion, but I guess that's just how it works, I guess. Oakland and Kansas City are two pathetic teams, as we all know by now. But you know what we all know by now? That it's 38 days away from high school football season. I cannot wait. That's right, I cannot wait. Should be a lot of fun. In fact, we're going to talk about some more high school football predictions because we can. Looking at it right there, still more LHSAA football predictions, including the Independents. This is in no particular order, the Independents. The Independents are not a conference, they are just simply independent. The St. Ed's Eagles, 9-1 this season. So there is that. I got Hoban going 7-2. And St. Ignatius going 5-5. And then the Massillon Washington Tigers going to win 9, drop 1 game. And then St. Vincent, St. Mary going to go 7-3. Benedictine 3-7. Of course, Benedictine did not win a single game last year, but there's one direction to go in after losing all your games last year, and that's going up. I can see Benedictine doing just that. The Brush Sharks will go 4-6, and Gilmore Academy 7-3. Looking at some of the big games this season, it includes, or between independents, it includes St. Ignatius against St. Ed's. That will be Week 7, the Holy War, I guess you might say, of Cleveland. Of course, the Holy War of Akron is gone. That's right, folks. No more Hoban, St. Vincent, St. Marian football for some odd reason. I don't know why, but the series has been discontinued. That is rather disappointing. But Week 1, St. Ed's will play a school in Indiana, and Archbishop Hoban will play a school in Kentucky, and Massillon Washington will play a school in Georgia, and Glenville will play a school in Virginia. All part of the Northeast Ohio versus America Showcase at Paul Brown Tiger Stadium. That should be a lot of fun to watch. I think that it's going to be really exciting. Not as exciting as Highland Hudson Week 1, but still going to be a lot of fun. Week 5 is going to be a rematch of one of the best games of last season. St. Ed's against Massillon Washington at Paul Brown Tiger Stadium for the second year in a row. My goodness, that was a great game last year in which Washington recovered a fumble in the waning minutes, scored a touchdown, and St. Ed's threatened to win it, but missed the field goal. That would have tied it, actually, I think. What was it, 31-28, I think? Yeah, 31-28. And St. Ed's plays Hoban on Week 10, so there is that. Hoban, Week 7, plays Walsh Jesuit. And on Week 6, their 6th game they play Walsh. And in Week 5, they play St. Ignatius. I apologize for that. Of course, Hoban has 9 games this season, which is kind of odd. Looking at 1, 2, 3, 3 teams out of state for Washington. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, half the teams that St. Ed's plays is out of state. That's kind of hard to believe. I always find those schedules to be a little odd considering the fact that you're not playing schools in your state, but still, St. Ed's is one of the best. And St. Ignatius has a new coach. Chuck Kyle retired. So they got a new coach. I don't know how well they'll do, but they got a tough schedule, including a 3-week stretch against D2 powerhouse Hoban, the reigning D2 champions, but now in D3, Central Catholic, that's right, TCC, and then, of course, St. Ed's, and I apologize, it's really a 4-week stretch. They got more after that. Now time to go to the Metro Athletic Conference, the MAC. Norton, I think, is going to win it. 8-2, 7-0. Woodridge 7-3, 6-1. Streetsboro and Ravenna will both go 4-3. And Streetsboro going 6-4, Ravenna 4-6. Cloverleaf, they had a good season last year. 6-4, 3-4. Field 5-5, also 3-4. Coventry 3-7, 1-6. And the Springfield Spartans 1-9, 0-7. So looking at it right here, Norton plays Woodridge 5, week 5. And that's when they play them. That should be a game that will determine supremacy in the Metro Athletic Conference. And of course you got Field against Norton week 9. And Cloverleaf Norton week 8. That's going to be a good game. And Woodridge Cloverleaf, let me check that. That'll be week 7. The Colts have a tough schedule, but you never know what can happen in the great world of OHSAA football. Well, folks, we have 38 days to go. I've been running a poll on WHBW's Twitter. If you don't follow us at WHBW Sports, highly suggest that you do now. We have 29 followers. But yeah, running a poll, over 100 votes. St. Ed's is the overwhelming majority for the D1 champion for predictions. Hoban leading in Division 2. And Chardon leading in Division 3. Of course, TCC not that far behind. Glenville leading D4. South Range barely ahead of Ironton. Kirtland leading Marion Local. And Warren JFK leading Newark Catholic for Division 7. That's kind of crazy. There are 7 divisions in the great world of OHSAA football, but that's what makes it a lot of fun. That's what makes it a lot of fun. You know what's also going to be a lot of fun? The fact that I'm going to a Guardians game this Friday down at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. That's right, my family and I are going down there for about a week, so there is that. But you know what? When I come back next Friday after my vacation with my family, we're going to talk the top 15 greatest PlayStation 2 sports games of all time, brought to you by It's Not in the Game, a book I've been working on. Hopefully, maybe I'll get published. You never know. You never know. But yeah, top 15 greatest PlayStation 2 sports games ever made. Of course, that will be an hour long. It will be the highly anticipated sequel to my top 10 greatest PS2 sports games of all time, which happened 3 years ago, over 3 years ago, because that was my first episode back from COVID. Remember, I was doing it back in May, June 2020 because, of course, I was all masked up and stuff because I'm a responsible person. But still, I just did that because there were no sports going on, of course, for obvious reasons. And decided, you know what? Why not talk about the greatest sports video games of all time? And that I did. And of course, episode number 200 will be coming up next Friday. We will have a lot of fun there. I can't wait to bring it to you. I'm looking at it right now. It is a few pages long. My goodness, I talk a lot about number 1, which I'm not going to reveal what's number 1 because that's spoilers. But you'll have to tune in next Friday for the Tommy Maroon Sports Show, hopefully. where I talk about the top 15 greatest PlayStation 2 sports games of all time. It will be 4 weeks away from the high school football season by that time, so there is that. And until we meet again, I'm Tommy Maroon. Good guy, can't speak. I'm Tommy Maroon. Thanking you for watching. I'll see you then.
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.